Welcome back to question 3, 2024. So this is part E, okay? It's a continuation on from our question 3 there. So the image below shows the design of an office printer. So they want us to draw the elevation looking in the direction of arrow A, so looking in this way. The plan looking down on top, and the end elevation looking in from B. And then after that, they want us to index points C and D. So we've got points C and D here in plan, elevation, and end view. Okay, so we'll start with our elevation. For elevations, we need two sets of dimensions. We need heights. So we've got all our heights here, and we need width. We've got all our width here. Okay, so my overall height is 115. So I need to come down more than that, while it's still allowing my depth there of 75. Yeah, I'll have loads of space. So coming down, let's say to here, right, with my XY line. Okay, if I'm looking at my elevation here, my elevation there, and then my end elevation is going to fold out. Imagine the plane there folding out, so it's going to be on the right hand side. So elevation, I can start here rather than on the right. So we'll mark off my width first of all. So we got 120 as the overall width. Okay, that's broken into 20, then 15, then I've got 55 and 30. Yeah. All right. So I'll just project those vertically between the elevation and plan, because I need those widths both in elevation and in plan. All right, now my heights, I've got a height of 115. So I'll have to mark off that height of 115 total. Okay, and that's broken into 30 plus 20 plus 30 plus 15, and I'm left over with 20. Yeah. So those are my heights, and I'll project those across. I will also need those for my end elevation. So I'll project up some of these. All right, so that's the outline or kind of grid that we want to draw. Now let's start drawing in heavy lines where they should be heavy. So I'm going to have this surface looking in. I'm going to have this surface all the way up to the 20 mark. So that's a heavy line all the way down. And then at the base. And then I'm going to be going up here until I hit that arc, which is radius 20. I've already marked off a height of 20. Okay, so I can draw that straight up. Okay, the center of that arc then I'm going to need to measure in 20. So measure in 20, that's the center of that arc. Okay, I'll draw that arc in a second. The top then, there's going to be a straight line just for 10 millimeters. So a little bit of straight because the whole thing there is 30, we've only traveled 20, so that leaves 10 over. Then over 55, we're going down a height of 50, so that's over 50, and we've come down 20. So we've got a sloping line to there. And we're going vertically up then. And over our 15. And then down at an angle to finish that off. Finish off the outside part. Okay, and let me just get my arc quadrant. It's set to 20. I can draw Okay. Now we also have all this piece cut out, so that was up my height of 30 to there. It's going to travel in, then in line with this portion. So it's going to travel to there, coming in then to our distance of 30 in if we follow that down. So it'll be going to there, up our height, which was 30. So it's going to be going up to there, and then it'll go all the way across. So there's our sloping line. Okay, so that is my elevation completed there. All right. Now we want to go on to elevation done. We want to go on to the plan. So we typically leave about 10 or 15 mil there between plan and elevation. So start with that mark. So I have my width for my plan. My second dimension that we need are depth. Okay, so distance is this way. Okay, we can see down here we've got the total depth is 20 plus 55, so that's 75. Okay, and we'll mark off that 20 and 55. And I think that is all, yeah, that's all the depth that I need. Okay, so here is kind of outline grid that we're going to see. All right, so let's start with what we see looking down on top. I've got rectangular surface in blue, another rectangle, so that's this portion. Then I've got another rectangular surface, which is here. Sloping, longer blue surface goes to here. And then I won't have any more edges because it curls down around. So that is actually pretty straightforward. Just following each of those edges. So that's my elevation. Now, that is not the entire elevation, okay? If I look down on top here, okay, there's this additional detail within the piece that we cannot see as we look down on top. But what we can do is we can communicate some edges of it. So we have this edge running along there. Now that actually is in line with this edge here, so we can't really communicate it, but we have another edge that's going to be running along that 20 distance, and that's going to be coming in and across along there, so we can communicate that using our hidden detail lines. Okay, so that's my plan completed. Now we're on to our end view. For our end view, we have our heights projected across. For our end view, we also need to see our depth. Okay, so I can project that up 45 degrees, 45 degrees, 45 degrees. Maybe you might, depending on how your teacher teaches it, you might have a 45-degree line and bring everything out onto that and up. Doesn't matter, right? All we're doing is we're converting distances. So here we have my vertical part then. Go vertical here and vertical here. Right, so that's like the grid. Now we want to imagine we're standing here at B, we're looking in, we're going to see this and then this, so left eye, right eye, left eye, right eye. Okay, so we're going to have this rectangular part, which is 20 down and it's the full width across. That's our 20 down and full width across, so that's going to be going to here. Okay, we have this kind of C shape, which I can see coming here and down to So there and in. So that's my kind of C shape. So I'm actually going to just draw in most of that now. So that's that white surface. Should have this all the way down. Okay, now we're also going to see this blue surface, okay, which was up our height of 20. So that's that surface there. Community break, just brought across. So there we have that. Okay, so that is my plan view complete. All right, so we've our elevation, plan, and end view completed. So end view completed. Now we want to index the points C and D. Okay, so the easiest place to see C and D, right? Here's C. That's actually going to be here. It's the easiest place to see it. D, that's the easiest place to see D. All right, now, next easiest place to see it would be looking in from B. If I look in from B, C, right? It's not the first point I see, it's back here. So back a little bit, but that's still going to be C. So if I follow it up, here's going to be point C. D is also out here. It's not the first point I see, but it's there. So D, you can follow it up, and there's point D. And finally, we want to find them in the elevation. So the elevation, we actually draw up and draw across. We'll see that they both are right there. So if I'm looking in this way, all right, if I'm looking in, let me just get a pen. Imagine this is my edge in plan, my edge in the end elevation, and we're looking along and we're seeing that edge BC as one singular point. So it's actually going to be the two letters there. Now, we have to put them in a particular order, okay? As we're standing here looking in that direction, we see point D first, and then we see point C. Okay, so we have to write the one we see first as the first letter. So D, comma, C. If you write C, comma, D, you'll lose some marks, right? So we have to have them in the correct order. So that brings us to the end there of part 4. We've all of question 3 now completed. That was a nice orthographic projection question.